Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Hey, stop what you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image of me that you're used to. I look money, a king bee making honey, see? Deep state, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round, I'm the new sheriff in town. All my people rise up and stand your ground. Now drink up all the Diet Coke you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself, my name is Trump D. I like my mashed potatoes lumpy. Fake news, oh how I like to punk thee. That little sniper on the slope tin, he took a shot but he missed me. I don't fall, y'all, I'm like the ever-ready bunny. Still going strong and spunky. So put on your big boy pants. Come on, let's do the dance.
The Trumpy dance is your chance to do the Trump.
Come on, do the Trumpy Trump. Come on and do the Trumpy Trump. Check me out, y'all. We do the Trumpy Trump. Just watch me do the Trumpy Trump. Do you know what I'm doing? We do the Trumpy Trump. Come on, everybody do the Trumpy Trump. It's time to do the Trumpy Trump. Yeah.
That's right, folks. It's Monday, fun day. And how can you not have fun doing the Trump?
It's what day, Craig?
Oh, shoot. It is not Monday, is it? You know what? I had the day off yesterday, and I just felt like, it was that day.
Uh-oh. Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
Thank you for the correction, Mike. That's right. Today is hump day. This is the day in which we attempt to begin the weekend, sometimes with success, sometimes not, but the fun is all in the trying. And Mike, obviously, I haven't even started trying yet.
Yeah, but you're halfway there. You thought it was Monday, and it's really Wednesday. You're halfway to the weekend.
I'm halfway to the weekend. I just skipped all the way ahead. Oh,
you joined up in the middle. You just screw the beginning of this week.
Wow. Well, today wasn't a normal Monday, so I guess I should have known. It was just one of those days where, man, I'm like, man, things are going just really a little too smooth today.
That's because people have had 2 days to wake up, and get into their. Wednesday's the day where work gets done. Mondays, no, I can't call anybody Monday. Tuesday, I'm not feeling it. Wednesday, let me get some work done because I'm leaving tomorrow. That's how it works.
Well, yeah. Well, see, and Mondays, the work that does get done is the stuff where crap happened over the weekend and you got to fix it. Yeah. Stuff happened on Friday at the end of business. You said, forget it. I'm not dealing with it. I'll deal with it on Monday.
That's right. Mondays deal with the last 3 days worth of stuff. Yes. I get that. Yeah.
Generally unplanned. I try not to schedule meetings on Mondays.
Correct.
But for me, though, mentally, Mondays are easier because I resolved myself that this is my situation for the next 5 days. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
By Wednesday, I'm counting down.
Wednesday, right? Wednesday, day 3 of the hostage situation. Right?
Day 3 of the hostage situation. I like that. How was your Veterans Day?
It was relaxing. Let's say that. Yeah, relaxing.
There you go.
I didn't go out and try and hunt down a free meal or anything because that's always a zoo. Just chilled, relaxed, and played with my necklace made of ears. That was it.
Necklace made of ears. Okay. Alrighty then. I will say this. One of the things I appreciate in terms of social media is people recognizing and honoring their family members who served in the military. And it's always funny to see, especially for the older guys, to see when their family posts the pictures of them, they're fresh as a young, fresh recruit.
Yes. Before exposed to the crazy things we had to do in the military. Let's say it like that.
Yeah. There you go. That's about as informational as it needs to be.
Yeah. There you go.
But anyway, I do appreciate it. It seems like more and more people are understanding the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day, or maybe just Veterans Day. It's a lot easier to remember the difference. Memorial Day is the one where I'm always like, yeah, no, that's not what it's about.
Right. Yeah. Can't screw up Veterans Day. Yeah.
It's a little hard to mess
Yeah.
up Veterans Day.
Yep.
Although I always thought it was funny. It's like, you never see them treat Veterans Day, for example, like they do Father's Day, right? Like, well, okay, well, you didn't really serve, but since you kind of served, like you were a teacher, so we're going to honor you on Veterans Day. Like, that's how they do fathers on Father's Day, right? On Father's Day, it's like, well, you're not really a father, but, you're a mom who raised a single child, so we're going to honor you on Father's Day.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I thought you were going a different way with that, but okay. Yeah, I could see that.
No, I'm glad they don't abuse it like that.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
Yeah, veterans. Yeah, I know. Now I do have a friend that posted it was wishing everybody a happy Veterinarians Day.
Veterinarians Day.
To all my veterinarian friends out there, happy Veterinarians Day.
Okay, so your friend was either joking or used voice to text, and voice to text, and that's what they got.
No, he's quite the jokester, so I'm sure that's what he meant. But yeah, just to throw everybody else off to say thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service on my dog.
Yep.
Oh well,
Veterans Day servicing a dog. Oh, okay.
Servicing a dog. That just does not sound right. It sounds better than servicing a horse, though.
Oh.
All right, folks. As you see, we're having a good time here. We obviously missed each other during that one day off, but hey, today's the day after Veterans Day, and there's a lot of interesting news to be had. So we're going to jump into it right after we give a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get yourself some AR barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire, plus a whole bunch of other kind of pistol and rifle barrels. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, fire, security, EMS, they got it all. Get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are all good patriots. So please take some time, check them out. Just follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them it was the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching the program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, we would love to hear from you. We're taking your comments. I'm looking at them right here. So I see there's several of you watching. So go ahead and let us know where you're watching us from, what you think about the program, what you think about the topics. Would love to hear about it. And if we find your comment to be interesting, we will go ahead and share it. Now, we don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with us. We want it to be interesting. In fact, it's probably more interesting if you disagree with us because, well, that gives us an opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
In your face, Dick Tracy.
In your face. That's what we love to do. In your face. And trust me, we don't do it because we dislike you. We don't do it because because we don't respect you. We do it for the entertainment purposes, primarily our own.
Well, yeah, because we have to do it. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, it's
We
kind
can't
of in
control
the.
it, yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of a Tourette's of ours.
Yes. Yeah.
Our version of
It's like
Tourette's syndrome.
It's like having Tourette's at the head at the player haters ball. It's like having it there.
Player hater.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, we don't. There is no player hater. Player hater.
Well, for in my neighborhood, it's player hater. Maybe in your neighborhood, it's
No. Come on now. We've got to correct it. We've got to get you to be culturally competent.
You out in Cali. It's not my fault. You
In
guys don't have
Cali.
one language. You got all these weird languages out there. You got you got your English, right? You got your
Yes.
Spanish, and
Yes,
then you
we
got
do.
Oakland. Then you got Oakland, whatever that is.
Then we have Oakland.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah. If you want to learn to speak Oakland, you got to spend a little bit more time watching Marshawn Lynch.
There you go. Oh, how
I-
could I forget San Francisco? Yeah, that's its own
Well,
language.
Well, yeah. Well,
Hey,
you
how
just
are
say everything with a
you?
lisp. You
Yeah,
say everything
exactly.
with a
How
lisp.
are you? Mm. Watch out for the poo.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
That is,
So I,
that is the thing. That is
so I said,
definitely a thing. All right. Well, let's talk about what else is a thing. Well, we talked about on Monday how the shutdown was coming to an end. It has officially now come to an end. It's over. It right now be over. And the interesting thing is that by all accounts, Democrats lost on this. They flat out lost. They basically the only concession that they got was they'll eventually have a vote on whether or not they're going. They'll eventually have a vote to vote no on funding the ACA subsidies. Yeah, so they're basically going to get a vote later on something that everyone's going to vote no on. So anyway, that having been said, they're now trying to find something new to talk about. And guess what that is? That's right. They don't really have anything real. So they're going to bring back the Epstein files. Trump says Democrats are deflecting, Democrats deflecting to Epstein hoax to distract from their shutdown. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that Democrats are reintroducing the Jeffrey Epstein hoax to distract from their government shutdown and other issues they are performing poorly on. Trump issued a response via Truth Social shortly after the White House press secretary redacted. That was easy for me to say. Press Secretary Caroline Levitt pressed reporters to ask Democrat lawmakers why they redacted the name of Virginia Giuffre in one of several Epstein emails that was released on Wednesday. That's right. They released supposedly some emails. Now I don't know where exactly all of these files have been, but they released these files, and here's what the secretary or the press secretary had to say about Donald Trump's role or his presence in these emails.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us.
So now the only thing that I had a question about or a disagreement with the statement of previous statements was originally Donald Trump said that he stopped being friends or he basically kicked him out because he was stealing employees. That was the original why he kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and cut him off. Didn't say because he was a pedophile and a creep. Not at that point. That was literally the only thing that I disagreed with. But she's 100% right. These emails were now, and if you go and you look at the mainstream media, Mike, everybody's like, well, this is saying that he spent a lot of time with the person, and this person was a known victim, and that he may have known. Well, this person already said Donald Trump never did anything to or with her.
yeah,
Publicly said this.
by her own statements, right? Yeah, and I think the president saying that because he stole employees, Craig, I think that might have been the original deflection for. I don't want to talk about this guy's sexual bull stuff, and then obviously when it became more prevalent that he had to address it. Just a non-issue here from the Democrats. Oh look, shiny. We weren't responsible for the shutdown. That after 40 some odd days, we still got nothing that we wanted. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious that's what they're doing, but You would think the media would, after they've had literally they've literally been made to look really, really bad with all of the biases that they've done, all of the whole issue with the BBC and them editing film, with the 60 Minutes editing content, and the flat out basic lies that they have told, and the bias that they've shown that has now been revealed. You would think that that they would wake up to reality and be like, maybe, just maybe, going after him like this in such a biased way really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, the other one I heard, Greg, was that Trump and the Republicans lost over the the shutdown, and the proof of that is the victories in Virginia, North Carolina, and New Jersey. Yeah, that's right. We lost because of the races that Republicans had zero chance of ever winning, and now all of a sudden we lost the shutdown because you won a couple of landslide races that nobody predicted we were going to win.
Right. In none of those cases were Republicans polled or projected to win. Even among conservatives, they were not projected to win. Now, they lost by wider margins than were expected. But I could look at each one and be like, well, okay, well, yeah, this dude who had already lost running in New Jersey, he had already lost to the previous candidate who was a POS. We'll just refer to him as that. Then you have the lieutenant governor of Virginia was not an ideal candidate. I mean, I agree with her politics, but she wasn't the most personable of people. We'll put it that way. One of the things that I will say that I think in several cases why we lost was, one of the biggest issues that people were talking about, and I do believe that the shutdown helped kind of bring this about, was, or at least accentuate this, was the issue of affordability. And Republicans weren't largely talking about affordability, because if they had, they'd have been pointing to the fact that it was Democrat policies that have made all the places that are now unaffordable. It's because of Democrat policies.
Craig, sure, I'll give you that, but it's the same way when that President Trump won all three times he ran for president, is that he dedicated his time and energy and funding to races that were winnable. These were not. Right. There was like, oh, did we send somebody down there? Oh, okay, good enough. It was like, okay, let's make a showing. There was no drive to win there because they were unwinnable.
No. And the Proposition 50 issue here in California, I can tell you right now that all they had to do was exactly what they did. They made it about Trump, and if you hate Trump, vote yes on 50, and that's what people did. But I'm going to continue to say this. I've been looking at a number of the districts that were like overwhelmingly Democrat, solid Democrat. They're now competitive districts. Yes, there are some solid Republican districts that are competitive, but there's also a lot more Democrat districts that are competitive. I think if they play it right, and California Republicans rarely do, but if played right, California Republicans can actually pick up some seats here in California in the next couple of election cycles.
There we go. That'd be nice.
Anyway, so but we all know the shutdown was, basically the shutdown was a loss overall for the Democrats. They don't want to admit that, but they know that it was. And one of the ways in which it was because what you're finding is right now, some of the shutdown's loudest critics, well, now they're condemning the end of the shutdown.
We're looking at right now is some 20 million people seeing a doubling in the health insurance premiums. In my state of Vermont, we're hearing that people are looking at a tripling or a quadrupling of the health insurance premiums.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote.
Well, the easiest off-ramp for the president is to use the 5 billion, which is available at the Department of Agriculture, that is specifically set aside to take care of this event that is about to unfold, which is to take care of those who are the hungriest in our nation. But this legislation does nothing concrete to lower costs or protect health care for millions of Americans from MAGA Republican attacks.
It's what we do to try and make sure that they can stay at work, keep our economy rolling, and keep a roof over their heads. You wonder why so many people end up homeless. Well, if we start cutting away all these supports, you're going to see homelessness rise up like we've never dreamed of.
I mean, I voted no just because I'm so pissed off. I'm just frustrated that you're right, 40 days, and we gave them every chance to negotiate a moderate. Doesn't have to put the whole thing back, and they wouldn't do it.
So that was from the folks over at the Washington Free Beacon, but they point out here, it says these Senate Dems were the shutdown's loudest critics. Now they're condemning the deal to reopen the government. So they talked about how bad it was to shut down the government and how people are hurting and how, people aren't going to be able to travel and how, military soldiers, their families are having to go to food closets and how people who are on SNAP don't know where their next meal is coming from. At the same time, now they're saying, well, but why did you cave? Why did you, we basically, you basically, it's a bad and evil thing that you are trying to make sure that people are able to eat and that people who work for the government are able to feed their families. So, kind of interesting. It's like they're kind of trying to have it both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it should come under the title like worst spin ever. They're horrible at this now. But Craig, their constituents will believe them. This is what we'll hear them say. Oh, well, it's your fault that the shutdown. Oh, and it's also your fault that we didn't get this. You agreed to it.
Epstein.
It's
like the liberal Tourette's. It's like they gotta holler out Epstein.
Yeah.
The interesting thing though is that it's also been said that the moderates in the Senate never wanted to do this. They were always like, no, we should not shut down the government. And he got them to agree to at least go through the beginning of November through the special elections.
Yeah.
And that was what these 8 members agreed to. Especially because that was when the SNAP benefits would actually run out. That was when it would start to affect travel, which, by the way, a whole nother interesting thing. What is now the second longest shutdown that ever took place was under Donald Trump, but it also came to an end when air travel started to become an issue, because all of a sudden now a lot more people were feeling it.
That's right. Everyday peoples. Yep.
Yeah. And that's really when you got to start to address it. And to be quite honest, Republicans it was 50-50 in terms of some of the polling, but for the most part, the messaging Republicans were winning on, because they're like, we voted to open the government dozens of times.
Yeah.
It's Democrats who keep voting to keep the government shut.
That's it. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But again, even the spin on that is, well, because they won't agree to us. They're the ones keeping it down. Oh, okay.
Now, we are holding them hostage.
Yeah.
We are blackmailing them, and they refuse to submit to our blackmail.
Yeah.
How racist. They don't like blackmails.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean they're going to stop, because they've pretty much pledged that this is going to be their thing. They're going to push really, 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 really hard this time in order to get the extensions of the Obamacare subsidies. According to The Hill, Democrats introduced discharge petition to force vote on extension of Obamacare subsidies. House Democratic leaders introduced a discharge petition Wednesday designed to force consideration of legislation to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies for another 3 years. Behind House Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats are hoping to entice a handful of moderate Republicans to endorse the petition, which will require 218 signatures to force a floor vote on the legislation over the objections of Republican leaders. The battle over the enhanced Affordable Care Act tax credits has consumed Capitol Hill throughout the history-making federal shutdown, as Democrats had demanded action on the subsidies as a condition of reopening the government. Republicans, who have sought to repeal Obamacare for years, rejected the demand, and they won the long standoff over the weekend with a small group of Senate Democrats cut a bipartisan deal to reopen the government without any GOP concessions on the health care subsidies. Well, they did get one. They got it once again. They got a commitment that there would be a vote so that everyone could vote no on the extension of the subsidies. But I was watching a thing, and you know, Mike, here's the thing. There were a couple of things that came out of this whole thing. We now know, and I think it's been revealed, that the Affordable Care Act never made healthcare affordable.
Nope.
It's not paying for itself. And the only reason why the premiums are lower, and by the way, the premiums aren't really lower, it's just that the taxpayers are subsidizing certain people in order to be able to get lower healthcare costs. And by the way, those people are not necessarily poor people, right? You don't have to necessarily be poor in order to get the subsidy under Obamacare. And then finally, all that extra money, it ain't going, once again, it's not going to lower healthcare costs. It's going to boost the profits of insurance companies.
Right, exactly right. And don't forget, Craig, I mean, the one thing that we did get to keep with Obamacare was the promise he made to us that we would not lose our primary physician. So I got to keep that.
Did you?
No, absolutely not.
Did you?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Exactly. Well, and once again, that was the thing. There's a reason why a lot of people aren't taking Obamacare anymore. There's a reason why, insurance companies have seen their profit margins grow dramatically. There's a reason why they were behind it. The reason why they supported the ACA was because they knew that it doesn't change anything for them except where they're getting their money from. They're getting some of it from the taxpayer, and they're getting some of it from the ratepayer, from the consumer.
Yep.
And they get to pretend like they're giving people a great deal. Like imagine if you went to buy a car. You're like, wow, this car is $10,000 cheaper than I thought it would be. Well, and you come to find out it's not $10,000 cheaper. It's the taxpayers are paying the other $10,000, paying that $10,000.
That's right. That's right. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's being revealed. And I think that's one of the things we have to do a better job of communicating, of letting folks know that, look, these subsidies have done nothing to decrease or reduce the cost of healthcare. Now, the things we also have to do, and I think this is a real opportunity. I said this on Monday. I think if Republicans are willing to say, look, adopt these reforms to healthcare, and we will give you a temporary extension of the subsidies to actually watch the cost of healthcare come down, right? And then you get the insurance companies to agree that if the cost of insurance of healthcare comes down, then your premiums have to come down as well.
You're making sense, but the Democrats don't care about that, Craig. It doesn't matter if the money comes from the government to make up for the difference in the raise in the rates, because to them that money is free money. It doesn't, it's just the government's money. It's owed to us, and it doesn't cost us anything to take the government's money. So they really don't have an issue with taking the subsidies.
Oh no, you are 100% correct. They have no problem with taking the subsidies. In fact, they want it because right now, because they realize it doesn't pay for itself. The whole idea with the ACA was it's basically a mid-step to single payer, right?
Yeah.
In other words, they want the government to be the single payer, right? They want to get rid of the insurance companies. And they want the government to basically be the ones who do this, right? Their goal is to get rid of private insurance. And so they need the healthcare system to fail. They need everyone to become dependent on government healthcare. That's why they need everyone to sign up for either Medicare, Medicaid, or for Obamacare, because they want everyone dependent on government. Now, here's the sad part. About 70% of the population of those who have healthcare, it's government funded or at least government subsidized. 70%.
Yeah.
Whenever you put more money and more government money into something, the costs don't go down, right? All it does is drive up the cost because there's no incentive. Like you said, they see the people, the taxpayers, me and you, as an endless pot of money.
Right.
So they have no incentive to reduce costs because, well, why? We just increase the cost on the taxpayer. And that's what these subsidies are, is them increasing the cost on the taxpayer.
Yeah, well, it's the Democrat thing. It's the promise of free money. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's healthcare or bailouts on your mortgage or on paying for your tuition. That's it's our money. Why shouldn't we? It's the government money. Why can't we have it? Why can't we have it? It's free money. Free money.
Right, right. And that's the problem with socialism, is that you eventually run out of other people's money.
Exactly right.
Thank you, Margaret Thatcher. All right, Turning Point. There's a Turning Point USA chapter that was started at a high school, and it was launched specifically after a teacher at that high school decided that he was going to go online and mock the death or the assassination. I put death on here because assassination would have been too long, so I put death on here. But mocked the assassination.
It's hard to abbreviate assassination. Also,
it is. It really is. Whenever you abbreviate assassination, you make an ass of you and me.
That's it.
Anyway, here's what the teacher posted online.
Citizenry, and you won't have a single gun death.
I have about as much sympathy for Charlie Kirk right now as I do for all those farmers across the country who want socialist handouts from the government right now. This is a man who hated the LGBTQ community, who hated women's rights, who hated democracy, who thought that he was a big man because he went to college campuses and debated young college students and thought he proved how tough he was with his words that he studied ahead of time. What a piece of garbage. This is what happens. I'm curious if we're going to want to take guns away now from who will inevitably be the white man who shot and killed him. Bye, Charlie.
Yeah, so Rhode Island high schoolers launch a Turning Point USA chapter after teacher mocks Charlie's assassination. It says here, Barrington High School social studies teacher Benjamin Philo was reportedly placed on administrative leave after he posted a video mocking Kirk's assassination and calling the Turning Point USA founder garbage. In a video posted to social media, Philo shared that he had little to no, quote, sympathy for Charlie Kirk, end quote, before spreading false claims that Turning Point USA founder, quote, hated the LGBTQ community, women's rights, and democracy. And that was the video that I just played for you. It says here, Barrington high school teacher went on to bizarrely claim that Charlie Kirk thought he was a big man because he went on college campuses and debated young college students and thought he proved how tough he was with his words that he studied ahead of time. Oh my God, he studied ahead of time. Yeah, isn't that what you're supposed to tell your students to do? Anyway, moving down here, Barrington High School students responded by launching their own Turning Point USA chapter at the school. Braden Ryan, the vice president of the Turning Point USA chapter at Barrington High School, told Fox News that Philo's remarks following Kirk's assassination is what ultimately inspired them to start the TP USA chapter. Quote, he made a TikTok about how he has no remorse over him and how he was a hateful person, Ryan said. I feel like we should give space to other students, a free and safe space to other students other conservative students to speak their own personal values, such as their religious beliefs and their political beliefs, the student said. Barrington School District spokesperson Sarah Dell told Fox News Barrington High School students are always welcome and encouraged to pursue new clubs that reflect their interests. And the funny thing about this, Mike, is that anyone who's and you know this, anyone who spent any time watching these videos knows, one, he always gave everybody, and it wasn't restricted to just students, faculty, anybody. He encouraged people who disagreed with him to go first and gave them an opportunity to make a statement, ask a question, whatever it was, and present their case. So words that he said ahead of time, how could he know what they were going to ask? How could he have how could he have prepared it? I mean, went to Oxford and challenged students at Oxford. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I always, once again, I probably watched more Charlie Kirk videos since his assassination than I did before, but I always kind of really felt like he was someone who promoted exactly what we should be doing, and that is dialogue on issues.
Yeah. And listen, if anybody's ever watched any of it or listened to any of his stuff or read any of his writings, there was never any disrespect to LGBT. There was never any disrespect to, women, any other group out there. It was the opposite of disrespect is what Charlie had. He may not have agreed with their principles, but was always respectful and let them have their voice. It was just, and then he would have a conversation with them. It wouldn't be an argument. He wouldn't at the end go, I win, take that away. He'd go, well, there you go. There's some facts for you to contemplate now.
Well, and his attitude and his tone, it didn't always match, but it was always conciliatory. Yeah. And if they were calm and they were presented, because you had some people who went up there who disagreed with him, and he sincerely, and he was heartfelt, and he'd be like, look, like I remember one time it was a person who was trans, and he said, what I want for you is for you to be comfortable in your body, right? Yeah. I want for you to be comfortable with the body as God gave it to you, right? Yeah. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I don't want you to feel yada, yada, yada. He's like, that's what I would want for you. I would want for people to tell you the truth, right? And I'm like, okay, how is that hateful? What's hateful about that?
No. Even when he'd get a troll that would come up and start something, he would go, okay, you're a troll. You said your piece. You can go now.
I'll tell you who was the most vicious with, like the Nick Fuentes style racists that would come up. You know, the white supremacists, they're true white supremacists that would come up there. Those were the ones he had no patience for.
Right.
Which, by the way, I happen to agree with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I also believe, even with them, I still believe that the giving them an opportunity to spew their stupidity and then undermining it is the most effective way to handle them.
That's right.
Let them make themselves look like idiots, and then undermine that.
That's right.
That's the best way to handle them.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. All right, folks. So that now brings us to our parting shots. Now, parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. All you have to do is go to hogholsters.com. Make sure you use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, just like it is right up there, and you can get your discount today. So a couple of these videos are kind of interesting. So none of them have to do with the shutdown. So just so y'all know, but I still find them to be interesting. This first one is by a dude, and he's talking about all of the people who are supporting, all of the private funders that are helping to fund the ballroom, and how people are like, don't ever support Trump, or the people who support Trump. Well, he's kind of got some interesting points about some of the people supporting or funding the ballroom.
Oh, yeah, here we go again. Although I'd never support Trump, or anyone who supports Trump crowd is about to have a full-blown identity crisis. Why? Do pray tell. That privately funded list just came out. And guess who's helped funding that new White House ballroom? Still not your tax dollars. No. Some of your favorite brands. Let's start with Apple. Yeah, that device that you're probably watching this on. The same one that you post Trump as a fascist from. I hate to tell you, you just made a campaign donation with Face ID. Better chuck that iPhone and grab a flip phone, Patriot. Salute! Comcast. Time to unplug. No Netflix, no Hulu. Just sit there and stare at a blank screen and think about your life choices. You okay over there? Google, you better not Google how to cancel Prime, because congrats, you just supported Trump twice. Why? Because guess who's next? Amazon. Yeah, that same place that you order your fake ass eyelashes and that live, laugh, love sign that you definitely don't live, laugh, or love by. You better delete Prime, sweet cheeks. Guess it's back to waiting in line at Walmart like the rest of us peasants, since you're on your iOS and all, you know. Bougie. HP. Hope you didn't print that no hate in my state sign on an HP printer. That's basically a GOP ATM now. Time to handwrite your protest in crayon, champ. Lockheed Martin. You scream defund the military and now your defense contractors out here buying chandeliers for said ballroom. You're basically sponsoring the next Marine Corps ball, my friend. Meta. That orange man bad meme you posted? It's hanging on the wall in the new ballroom. Doing the cha-cha. Delete your account because you're more than likely watching this on a Meta platform and boosting this post at the same time just by watching. Microsoft. Word, Teams, Outlook, all of it. It's basically Microsoft now. Dust off that typewriter and live your truth. And lastly, T-Mobile. Every pink phone and text trash and Trump, yeah, you just pay for the drywall. If you're serious about not supporting Trump or anyone who supports Trump, start packing. Unplug, unfollow, uninstall. You're moving to the woods with a rotary phone and 2 pigeons. Have a good one.
Nice.
Point, set, match.
Nice.
Now, this next video is actually, it was I guess someone, I guess with Dana Bash was interviewing John Fetterman. And he had a comment about who were the nastiest, meanest, and just quite most vile people when it came to like criticisms of anybody politically, but specifically of him.
You said, quote, I've drunk deeply of the venom of both the left and the right. As a connoisseur, I can confirm that the most poisonous, the bitterest, is from the far left. That is pretty remarkable to hear you say that as an elected Democrat. Why?
No, it's just been my personal experience on this thing. And when I asked my digital team, I said, we're on all the platforms, really what's kind of the harshest, what's kind of the most personal? And the answer was immediate. He said, oh, blue sky, it's blue sky. And the difference is, the right would say really rough things and names, some names I won't repeat on TV, but the on the left, it was like they want me to die, or that we're cheering for your next stroke, or that's terrible that depression won. Why couldn't it depression won? And I hope your kids find you. They even have like the graphic, a GIF where they have like a stroke, in your head, cheering at that. Yeah, and they said that. I remember one. They claimed, oh, the doctor let us down, and why did they have to save his life? Just really like. I just can't imagine. People are wishing, I wish he dies, or I want him to die, literally cheering for a stroke. And I don't know what the kind of a place where that comes from. That's much different than just calling me a name. That's really been consistent, in that community online.
He's just finding out what I think most of us already know. Democrats create the permission structure for violence, and they think it's okay to wish death on and to then encourage people to kill people with whom you disagree.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. This last one. Speaking of vile, well, this one's kind of speaks for itself. It says here, for those of you who are not watching can't see the video, it says, watch out for potholes, sinkholes, and a-holes. And under it is a picture of Gavin Newsom. Now, mind you, the picture was not there, but this sign actually was up in California, here in Northern California freeway, not too far from here. Someone had hacked into one of the road signs, and that's the content of the message.
There you go. Take that.
I love creativity.
Take that with you.
Yeah. All right, folks. So, well, that brings us to the end of our program. But before we go, we're going to give one more quick shout out to our sponsors.
That's right. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get you some AR barrels, rifle caliber, pistol caliber, anything you desire, they have. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
Once again, folks, please take a moment and visit our sponsors. You can do so by following the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. Make sure you tell them those the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. That's going to be it for today. We will be back tomorrow on Throat Punch Thursday. Till then, y'all have fun, stay safe, and we will see you mañana.